Well, I'm going to give you a solid testimony. I'm going to say it's absolute proof that Spooky Remote works. I tried, I was using a device and I'm trying different things on it, and you really can't tell. You don't feel any electricity. I don't feel any electricity, and I'm going to point out what I'm talking about. I put some videos out on this thing because I think this is the best damn thing going, man, because the big problem with trying to use Rife devices, you either got to be hooked up to wires or you got to be real close to it. You could be anywhere with this thing. So anyway, I used this frequency set that said vision to improve, right? Vision to improve. And I tried it, I don't know, it was a few days ago or a couple of days ago or so. And I was looking at two computer screens on my laptops, a couple laptops I use for research and stuff. Not this one, this is a different one. I got a laptop I use for working out on my elliptical. I got one for doing at the desk here with Spooky, and I got two in another room that I use to research. But anyway, my eyes were hurting, and I was using the Firefox browser, and I was making it bigger so I could focus, right? And I says, let me try this vision to improve. And I says, whoa, it worked. It worked like almost, I don't know, virtually immediately. I'd say within an hour, I definitely knew it was working. And I was able to shrink down the size of Firefox, and I was able to see very well, right? Now, yesterday, I'm working at an office, right? And I'm working with these tax forms. Now, usually, I take, in my briefcase, I take these, I don't wear glasses, right? I have I don't know, it depends on when I measure my vision. It's like 20/30 or 20/35. It's definitely within the parameters where you don't need glasses to drive. But a lot of times my eyes get tired, and I'll use this thing, I always, these dollar magnifying glasses. I got another one over here. I got probably a dozen of them laying around because my eyes sometimes they get tired, and I'm like, what the hell is that saying? Or somebody, they got these tax forms, and there's fine print on them, and sometimes they're copies of copies of copies of copies, and they're not even like super razor sharp letters on them. So I always take this, especially like if I'm like looking to pick up numbers that say somebody wrote something in. I'm like, what the hell did they write? And sometimes when you blow it up, you can see what it is. Well, yesterday I was, over 50 miles away from where I am now. I was running, so in other words, I guess the distance doesn't matter. I'm running vision to improve, right? And I'm looking at this stuff, and I'm like, forms, right? And I'm like, here I'm holding out this form at arm's length, and it's a copy of a copy of a copy. So the letters aren't real razor sharp, and it's the fine print on the IRS tax forms, and I can read it out, I can read it no problem, like from this distance, arm's length. Before, I was taking this thing, and this was during the course of later in the day, and I'm like, and also, I must have had like less than, I don't know, I definitely had less than 5 hours sleep. I think it was more like 4 hours sleep the day before. And, well, I kind of like work late, and I just kind of always working on stuff, right? Various things that you might notice that on my channel. I'm about the only channel out there that freaking, it's like, one channel has like gazillion different topics almost, But, I should have been definitely grabbing this thing for sure and looking at it. And here it was all day. I was able to read everything absolutely fine at arm's length, the fine print on, the IRS documents. And it was copies of copies of copies that weren't even like clearly typed. So I'm going to say this thing definitely works. It worked at a distance. I mean, that wasn't 1,000 miles, it was over 50 miles, but it worked. Okay? It worked. And I can't say that it was, it happened twice. I ran it twice, it happened twice. The same thing happened. So the first time I used it, I was maybe within, 30 feet of it, and the second time I was over 50 miles away from it. and I used it for several hours. That was vision to improve. That worked for me. But I know what the deal is. Like, I don't have bad vision, and you know what I think is going on with this device is, you see what my understanding is, and I think I have this correct. When they use the DNA holders, I'm going to show you again what this device is. I don't have it right here in front of me, running right now something else. When they use the DNA holders, it's transmitting a frequency. It's not transmitting material or anything like that. Because what I'm running right now is essential oils like rose, thieves, immuno power. I was reading about these things. I was like, I understand what they're about. What the theory is with the rose oil and stuff. It's very powerful oils, essential oils. Now, it doesn't transmit an oil per se or manufacture it in your body or something. I don't think it does that. What it does is everything every food, every vitamin, every mineral has a frequency. So it's transmitting the frequency. I think that is exactly what's going on. I'm pretty damn sure of how it works. Because quantum entanglement, we're not, I don't know, I don't want to throw the word quantum entanglement out there too much because it's something I don't understand. But what I do understand is that, say for instance, we use this magnifying glass here, this magnifying glass here, and this was the DNA I had in the holder, and this was, the target. And so if you vibrate this vibrates. Material doesn't go from here to here. That's not, that might be Star Trek, off in another century someday. I don't know. But it's not material, it's frequency. It's not information, it's frequency. So, but I can state, I am definitely 100% convinced this thing is doing something. In other words, I'm going to tell you this. I had these doubts in my mind about how remote treatment could possibly work. I understand I was already convinced about Rife. I'm convinced about the radio waves method. I'm convinced about the plasma method and the contact method. I'm convinced about that. I know that a lot of frequencies are in a list that may not be that effective. But then there's other frequencies that are pretty solid that have been known to take care of a lot of microbes, like 20, 465, 727, 787, 800, or 880 is another one, and 10,000. Those are kind of like catch-alls. Actually, 465 and 727 is, 880. And 10,000 is kind of like energy medicine, I guess you might want to call it. But those are, they will work. They will actually, knock out microbes if you're using a traditional method of a pad device. Now, is it strong enough to make you well in a serious sick situation? Who knows? But I know I'm not gonna, I already know that works. I know it works, okay? Even though the medical establishment, I don't know, they just kind of ignore it or something like that. There's some definite merit to the Rife technology with the pad devices and the plasma. I just couldn't get my mind wrapped around how this could possibly work with the remote, but I didn't think it was a hoax. My instincts or whatever it is told me that this is 100% legit, and the author of this, John White, who wrote the program, is 100% legit. That's that's what my instincts and opinions said, and usually I'm right on stuff like that. That's the way it is, right? But I had to give it a good test, and I noticed that the vision to improve worked 2 times. One time within 30 feet, and one time over 50 miles away, and it undoubtedly worked. It wasn't like worked on me, but undoubtedly worked. I've been dealing with, trying to read stuff and using these magnifying glasses. And like I said, I have about 20/35 vision. What I think is going on is it's a frequency that probably relaxes the eyes. It can't be repairing something that fast. It couldn't be. Really, you start thinking about it. It couldn't be that, something that was physically fixed. It couldn't be. It must be that it's relaxing the eyes, and that enables me to focus better, because actually my vision is not that bad. What happens is I get more tired sometimes, and then I have to use this, And yesterday, with less than 5 hours sleep and using tax forms and reading fine print, I was still able to read arm's length. I know it works. So anyway, I want to show you what I'm running right now. I'm running essential oils. I'm going to show you the device again. I don't sell this. I don't have any financial affiliation to it. There's not going to be, I'm going to put a link where you can get it from, but it's not some link that, you click on this link and it goes in my pocket or some crap. I'm giving you truthful stuff here, all right? I don't play that kind of game. As a matter of fact, even give you as a side note, I could tell you there's a gazillion times I see stories, I'm always researching stuff that I know would probably be profitable, giddy rumors that I could throw out there and it'd be like a gazillion clicks and stuff like that. I don't put that stuff out. I try to put out stuff that's more solid. All right? I know that's the way you probably should be playing the game with the marketing, but I try to, eventually I think the honest approach is going to be 100 times better. And, I should also make a note about something about human nature in general, because when I explain this, sometimes the best ideas, like you think about the free energy that was allegedly developed by Nikola Tesla and all the better inventions he had. Who was he destroyed by? Some people would say J.P. Morgan. I'm going to state this. It's actually a combination of the elite and the people themselves. There's a defect or something that's in everybody. It don't matter if they're rich or poor. It's like they want something now. They want an easy answer. And somebody could sell them bullshit. And I'm not selling you bullshit. I'm telling you, I'm not selling anything. I'm giving you straight fact. But they want an easy answer. They want an easy answer right now. And if somebody decides to try to attack something in some way, I don't know. They could. Other people might just jump aboard that attack because they follow. So I'm hoping this. I'm hoping this takes life. But I'm going to tell you right now. Maybe something like this is just for people that want to take care of themselves or want to, try to improve their health or whatever. Maybe it won't necessarily be for people that need to use it for something. But, that's almost like the age-old thing with anything. We know that there's a lot of good foods that people should be eating. There's a lot of things that people should be doing with not smoking cigarettes or taking drugs. There's a lot of things that people should be doing with exercise and things like that. Do people do it? No. A lot of people don't do it. And these are the type of people that won't be using the, something like this, which may be the freaking best invention going, the Spooky Remote. And I'm not going to try to convince those people of anything. Do what you want. Do what you want. It's been said a long time ago. I'm ad-libbing. I'm going on here pretty lengthy, but I want to drive home a point. That it's not always the elite. It pretty much isn't the elite that actually destroys some of the best things that are put out by mankind. It's the people themselves. And this almost goes back to religion. They say they throw the seeds out there. They're throwing out the word. They're throwing out the seeds. What happens? There's just people out there throwing out the seeds, the disciples or whatever, or whoever it is, whatever prophet it is. Say you're not, with Jesus or whatever. And it goes on barren rock. They look at it like, ha, 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 so what? And, it's because, there is a lot of stuff out there that isn't legit sometimes, but I'm going to tell you this. I think this thing is solid as all hell. It is. Not that every single frequency on the list are legit. I mean, I know there's a lot of experimental frequencies out there, but there's definitely merit to this whole theory. But I'm finding out that the remote thing, it works. It works. It freaking works. Over 50 miles away. No way in hell. That was the first time I was able to freaking read these forms like that. Normally I was like, what the hell is this saying? I'd be grabbing this thing. It worked. It worked. Second time. And all day from a distance. And, like I said, there's been people that went before, and I'm going to say, people like Tesla, who were they destroyed by? The people themselves, many times. Who was, look what happened with Lukovsky, I mean, he was all the rage in Paris, and what happened to Royal Rife and all that. It wasn't just the medical community. It's the people themselves. All people got an evil nature in them. All of them do. Don't matter if they're rich or poor, whether what field they are, and they can easily be led astray. So when the truth is thrown out there, these people are just as bad or probably worse because of their numbers than the elite. So when I'm putting this out here, this may not be for the majority. This may not be for the majority. This is for the people that have a positive attitude, want to do good for themselves and do good for others. And those type of people may actually be in the minority. That may be the truth in the actual, the human nature of things. Because there's a lot of people that want to be on the top. You always see a joke sometimes, the woman or the girl or whatever it is, if there's a skinny pill out there, she wants it and she don't want anybody else to have it, right? You ever hear that kind of attitude? There's a lot of things out there. So I'm putting this out there for the people with the positive attitudes, and I'm going to state right now, I think this is rock solid. I think it's a little bit more than an opinion. All right, I'm going to show you what the program is because I went on here kind of lengthy, and it's got a hell of a lot of features in this new version. It's amazing. Well, anyway, here's my other generator, and you got the two remotes. I got another generator coming. I'm probably going to get 3 more remotes. I have one here with this little generator and another one. I might have 3 generators eventually and 6 remotes. That's what I'm probably going to do. But you notice the LED lights are lit up. And I've noticed that, let me get this back on here. This is, here it is. Went into sleep mode. But I noticed when it gets over into this area right here, it runs these frequencies. You probably won't see, some frequencies are so high up there that you won't see the lights light up. And it doesn't mean it's not working. See, this is a really, like in other words, if I go to this, you see the LED lights here are light up. This is running essential oils. So if I go on this, see, you don't see them lit up anymore. Maybe it's, now you don't see them lit up. And that's because it's working. It's just that it's running such a high frequency set at the 5 voltages. It's not enough to power the lights, but it's still working. So I'm going to stop this a second because I'm going to show you this. This thing is beyond believable. Now, I was running this frequency here called Thieves, and it's a combination of different oils. Now, it's not transmitting the oils themselves. It's transmitting the frequencies of those oils. But I guess the theory is that the same benefits are there. Now, where this oil Thieves, the name Thieves came from was during the bubonic plagues. They had these 4 thieves that came up with these particular types of herbs and things. Which I guess it's rosemary, cinnamon, or clove. Clove is another super powerful one. They used to put it all over their body and rob the victims of the plague, and they wouldn't get the disease themselves. So it's a pretty powerful thing. Rose oil is another one, but what's interesting about this, really highly interesting, is that you have all your essential oils here, plus a lot of the different combinations of oils transmitting. So in other words, sometimes you might want, this might be a cheaper way. I'm not sure if the oil itself is better or what. I'm not going to say one way or the other. But say, for instance, you want to try something, you get good results with a particular oil. You might want to just stick with possibly the device here, or that might give you more impetus to actually buy the physical product itself, and maybe you'll get even better results themselves. So I think one actually helps the other. But the thing is, this is all incorporated into this free program that just was vastly improved upon, and it's beyond belief, I'll tell you the truth. So I'm looking at, this is the custom set of frequencies that was incorporated in this program, and it's got a hell of a lot of them. You can see from Lyme disease. It might be, it's worthwhile to try as an adjunct to various things you might be trying with organelles. So he's got his own custom programs in here. The Nolger frequencies, that's something else. I'm going to tell you right now that this stuff before, to get this kind of stuff before, if you were dealing with, it was expensive. I'm totally flabbergasted by the extent of this program. It's beyond belief. This by far is the best way to do Rife because I'm realizing the remote is no BS. It really does work. And here you have, like say for instance, there's cancer sets in here that are custom sets. But if you're using this in combination with your conventional therapy, how's this going to hurt? The thing is, people, in the medical establishment might say, don't do that or whatever. Well, don't do it as your life safety net, only life safety net. But you might want to do this in addition to it, because this whole setup, you only need a 5 megahertz device. I got the 20 because I was going to use the pads and stuff, and I got one that's coming that's at 10. But you only need the 5 one with the shipping and the 2 remotes and the pads, or maybe the handhelds. I mean, the whole deal is like, I don't know, maybe it's a little over 200 even with the handhelds included. I mean, that's less than the price of one doctor hour, right? And if you're really racking up medical bills, if this does a little bit, it's worth it. How's that? Let me put it to you that way. But I do know that even if you use the handhelds with this, they work. The handhelds work. They have some kind of effect. It may not be the cure-all thing. I'm not saying that. But what I'm finding interesting is that the remote seems to actually transmit the frequency no matter where the hell you are, because I found that out yesterday. Again, I'm repeating myself. The vision to improve. So, if you want to try this out, I'm going to state right now, I don't see how you can freaking lose, as long as you don't depend upon one thing only to get rid of a serious condition. In any case, you want to use things like this as an adjunct or in addition to something. And the other thing is, on the flip side of it, you have where you can transmit colloidal gold, which is for usually for the brain function and things like that. He even has in here, I think there's brain function, energy, vitality. This was one of the more proven, very proven Rife frequencies. It's noted for energy. It's 10,000 or 9999, or which is one off of that. It's very close. It's very much noted for energy, and you just can't beat this program. I'm totally flabbergasted by this thing, and what's getting me is the price. The program isn't even any money. It doesn't even cost you anything. And if you try that vision, I would like to see if that vision to improve works with everybody. That would be amazing. But it sure worked with me. I definitely know it works, and I definitely know that the remote transmits. But he also has, in addition to the proven list, the bio list, the Fagal list, the consolidated frequency list. It looks like there's a custom frequency list in here already that goes through a hell of a lot. And I went over this thing with this Converge sweep. I'm going to be running that again today. And I'm assuming this thing is working absolutely fine from a distance. And that's the major drawback of Rife. Anything with Rife or transmitting frequencies, you have to be located close to or attached to the machine itself. If I could be hundreds of miles away or 50 miles away or whatever, it worked for 50 miles for me, I know that. This just blows me away. I don't know, maybe I'm sort of a tech guy too, but it's like I can't get my mind wrapped around how this can possibly work, but it seems to actually really work. It will transmit the frequencies.